Right, welcome guys to the Slowpoke. Well, you're back with some more Vivid Voltage deck profiles, and today I've got Charizard Leon. Now, I feel there's a multitude of ways you can play it, and I feel as if it's going to be really skill intensive. So for a big dum-dum like me, it's probably not the best. But for you, you're super smart, you'll be really good. So let's have a look at this version, which is Charizard Leon Snorlax. Let's have a look. If you're new around here and you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. You know, I put out a new video almost every day, and I'm tempted to try and get to 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you're not already subscribed, do us a favor. Let's hit that goal, baby. So yeah, before we get into the list, I think the main reason why I feel this is going to be a really hard archetype to build, it's going to be one of those stage 2s that's just on the cusp of like being remotely competitive, is purely because I think stage 2 decks really can't rely on Welder to succeed. Seeing 3 cards a turn just isn't going to cut it. Not only that, you have to work Welder for 2 most of the time, obviously attach 1, but because you have to run like stage 2's rare candy search, it means like this deck space has to come from somewhere, so you end up having to like compromise on everything to try and fit it all in. But I'll shut up now. Let's have a look, shall we? So we start off with 4 of the new Charizard. There we go. Basic Pokemon. A stage 2 Pokemon with 170 HP with the ability Blazing Aura, I believe. It's hard for me to see while I'm recording. But Blazing Aura, what it lets you do, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, pick one, put it in your hand, discard the other 2. So that alone, in all fairness, does actually help you throughout the game and just tutor Leons into the discard pile and, you know, Charmeleons, other Charmanders, rare candies. That ability, don't overlook it. It's actually pretty good. But what I will say, because it's a stage 2 deck, we're having to play so much stuff like I just said, you end up having to discard some good resources as well of that ability, so you can't really use it quite crazily. I didn't even talk about the Charizard attack. I apologize. So the Charizard attack does 2 for 100. I think it's called King's Flare or something, and it does 50 more for each Leon in the discard pile. Okay, so if you have all 4 Leons in the discard pile, you're hitting for a whopping 300. And it's kind of scary to say that still doesn't one-shot everything. So you're a stage 2 Pokemon for 300, for 200, it's still not one-shotting everything, but it comes awfully close. And one good thing about Charizard is because you're mostly hitting into 3 prizes now, you don't really have to, like, you know, go for that 2-shot regular. You can, as you can see, smack them for 200, throw up a Snorlax, refill your hand, bang, and then reload, and then do that. And all you have to do is just do that 2 times in the game. So yeah, that is your attack there. 1 Charmeleon. Now, I wouldn't mind that being 2, to be honest, just so it takes the pressure off trying to find a rare candy and all that stuff. But again, space, fellas and fellets. Okay, so we got 4 Charmander. Now, I'm not sure if there's a correct one. I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't actually looked that hard for it. But I think this one, I think it lets you draw 1 for 1 energy, which is, you know, not too bad. So yeah, you've got a 4-4-1-4 line there. So then we got 3 of the new Snorlax, and anyone that's played a bit of Expanded or played for a little bit of time will recognize that ability. Snorlax basic Pokemon, 150 HP with the ability, I can't remember, Gourmadize or something. Basically, if it's in your active spot, you can end your turn and draw up to 7 cards. Basically, Tropical Beach on an ability that ends your turn. So think of it a bit like an Intrepid Sword, except you get to fit your hand up to 7. And I do feel as if this Snorlax is going to make its way into a lot of stage 2 and evolution decks, because not only does it mean the downside is it has to be in the active, right, and it ends your turn, but it's 150 HP Pokemon basic, so it's like the opponent can just, like, you know, flick it out of the way. And chances are, if you draw up to 7, you're going to have the stuff you need in your hand, you know, rare candy, welder, double attach, switch, bish, bash, bosh. Not going to lie, you don't really get too many as often in the game. You normally like to start off with maybe 1 or 2, maybe get some towards the mid game, but if you can get some late game one in, try and find your bosses and that, it's kind of interesting. So yeah, and because you're a 1-prize deck, you can just throw these up sometimes, you know, and just try and draw some cards. Pretty cool. Now, we can't rely on Snorlax and our ability alone, though. So we have ourselves 2 energy to help us draw through. We don't want to, like, put this down really nearly just because, you know, we are a 1-prize deck and we're going to win most games just by attriting our opponent out by being a 1-prize deck. But, you know, sometimes just discarding your hand and drawing 6 is nuts. Very good in combination with Leon as well. If you can, like, get, like, 1 or 2 or 3 Leons in your deck, you can just, you know, I mean, in your hand, you can just bin those away. And then 1 Aura GX. Now, this is one of those double-edged swords where, because you're a 1-prize deck, you're going to get the most value from an Aura in a 1-prize deck, right? Because your opponent, you know, technically that's knockout 6. You can get 5 pops of the ability. but then it's a 2 prize card as well. So against ADP, you're probably not putting that down. But against everything else, you know, if they're taking 6 hard manual prize, especially if they're going through like Snorlax. So Snorlax got 150, Charizard's got 170, you know, and they're hitting quite hard. So yeah, like I said, because you're having to like use Welder a lot in this deck, right, just to keep up an attack, you are gonna have to find cards elsewhere. And you can see the sort of list I've tried to build, try to let you cheat out cards in here and there so you can use your Welder and still hit the stuff you need. So we got, speaking of Welder, we got 4 Welder there. There we go, got 4 Welders. You know, lets you attach 2 fires, or sometimes, a lot of the time, you can just attach 1, and then hopefully you draw into, or with your Charizard ability, you know, Stadium or other fire support, fire energy. So yeah, Welder's pretty heavy. You have to play Welder, unfortunately. I wish this attack was for 1. I feel as if it could be like really bonkers if this attack was for 1, but it is for 2, and there's no like wishful batting format or EXP share. EXP share would have been pretty cool in a deck like this, but alas, we have to play Welder. Okay, now here's the Leon. Sorry, the TTS is just thinking. TTS is Tabletop Simulator. For anyone that's asking what this is, by the way, this is Tabletop Simulator. I just flipped it on, my lord. Right, so we've got 4 Leons. Life and blood of the deck. So, funnily enough, if you can play it from your hand for the turn, you get a plus 30, right? So, in theory, if you have 3 in the bin, and then you Leon, you can end your turn with 330. So that's where you can sort of just creep over that 300 mark, which is pretty cool. Granted, with Power Pad, you can sort of try and do that multiple times, but it's kind of hard. If VS Seeker was in format, oh boy, that'd be pretty cool. And that actually makes me think you probably get Eldegoss in here for that reason as well. But but apart from that, Leon, you know, it lets you do an extra 30 for the turn, but most of the time you just want to just fling it in the bin. And that's what I said, this deck, it's really awkward because in ideal world, you want to play Leons for your extra damage buff, right? And you'd want to play Welders, but chances are, you can only play 1 a turn, so it leaves you in this weird limbo. Which is why I guess I didn't go down the Eldegoss route now thinking about it, because you're not really going to get to play Leon that often. If you're probably playing Leon to go to 330, it's probably a win more situation, let's be honest. 2 Professors of Research. Now I feel as if these could be like crutch, but what's the word? What's the I'm looking for here? These are the cards you can change. Jesus. In the games I played, I find myself rarely using them, but then you don't really want to, like, if you were to take these out, that only leaves you with Welders as your draw supporters, right? And that might not get it done. Sometimes in a stage 2 deck, you just need to have a bailout hand, and Research can let you do that. You don't really want to play too many again because of space. But, you know, with a combination with Snorlax and stuff, hopefully, you know, you should be okay. But if not, 2 Research fall back on is never a bad thing. And then rounding off the supporters, you've got 2 Bosses Orders. Again, you wouldn't mind a couple more, but we kind of just want to nuke whatever in the active. Again, if you want to like cut these Research, I think 3rd Bosses seems like quite sensible. Maybe even go to like 4 bosses and just have that just put on, like, depends on how scary you're feeling. Maybe we have like a 4th Snorlax there if you want to like draw up some more and really lean into that. But this is a put on, this is like the sort of halfway house version of that we want to try and do everything and anything. 2 Bosses Orders lets you do that. 3 of the Giant Half Stadium. Not only does it let you get fire energies for your Welders, but it also lets you discard Leons out of your hand too. But you're instantly playing fire decks, you are going to play like, you know, Giant Half, aren't you? Let's be honest. Right, what have we got up here then? So 4 Quick Ball. You know, this stage 2 deck, we need to get multiple Charmanders down. We need to get Snorlax, so we'll hopefully switch into that, use that ability turn 1, get the Dene, get Oricorio. So 4 Quick Ball lets you do that. 4 Pokemon Communication. Now, this is a part of the list where I've been really flip-flopping. Sometimes I've just gone really hard into Evo Incense, right? Just because we only play 15 Pokemon, and that's kind of on the low side if you really want to be alone on communication, let's be honest. But obviously communication doesn't, Evo Incense doesn't find you basics as well. So at the minute I'm leaning more in towards Pokemon Communication, but you can split it up into like a 2-2 count of Evo Incense if you like, or you know, really into Evo Incense. I'd be a bit crazy, but for now I'm hitting on 4 Communications because it's the most versatile. And like this is a halfway house version of the list where you clever clogs can go and refine it. Right, 4 Rare Candy. I feel as if you had to play them in stage 2 there. We're stage 2 there. I mean, we have got 1 Charmeleon. We don't really want to be relying on that though, let's be honest. I mean, this format's going to be super fast already. We can't really afford to be trying to manual our way up. If you did want to go down that sort of route, maybe be hard to think to go down like a Pokemon Breeders Nurturing route and just accept that I'm not attacking till like 3 and 4, but I'm just going to try and KO 2 VMAXs when I do. Pretty cool. 3 Switch. Now, this is where you're going to start to see the compromises being made. Obviously, when you're relying on a Snorlax engine, you're going to want to have Force Switch, but space, boys and girls, space. So we've got 3. Again, and it's because of space, we can't really go down a Jirachi either. I guess that's going to be one that I do profile. But for now, we're going to use Snorlax, and we have free switch for that. Pretty cool. Okay, here's some cool cards. Rotom Phone. And this is how we're going to really... Oh, my Lord, I am struggling. There we go. So we got ourselves some Rotom Phones. And this is how we're going to try and make up the lack of raw draw that we're going to get, because we're going to be playing Welder every turn. We're going to make up for it with our Rotom Phone. And what Rotom Phone is going to let us do, permanently, is turn our Blazing Aura into like a premonition from Breakthrough Clay, if anyone's playing back then. So basically, Rotom Phone lets you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, shuffle the rest, and put one to the top. So now with Charizard basically reads, you know, pick 1 card out of the 5, and then discard the top 2. Now, obviously, we have to shuffle the deck after the Rotom Phone, so we can't, like, strategically put 2 there that we want to be discarded, I should say. But that just lets our Blazing Auras just dig further in the deck. And like I said, we're in this stage 2 that has to play Welder. We need all the emergency dig we can get. So hopefully, between Oricorio, between Rotom Phone, you know, we can try and, you know, make our... what's it? Farewell, let whether the ability is called an Oricorio, the one that lets you draw up. It means you can, you know, try and be a little bit more tactical with that. It lets your Blazing Aura be a little bit better. And it's actually been really cool, to be fair. It was a late addition to the list, but the games I've been playing with it have been really good. So I wouldn't, again, you could probably cut a 4th one if you want some other flex spot, but I think don't get cheeky with your consistency cards now. And then we got 1 ordinary Rod, just so we can shove back in some Pokemon that we might be discarding with our Blazing Auras. And we got Power Patch, just so we can try and do that 330 turn, like I said. You know, if we've got 4 in the bin already, we've hit for 300. If you want to hit for 330, go up. Or, you know, any other multiples. Let's say you've got 3 in a discard. What's that? 250. If you want to get to 280, I don't see a reason why. But if you Power Pad up a Leon, and put it back down, if one's prized or something as well, it lets you play more if you prize them, or just play them all in the bin. So Power Pad it shit. As whilst getting back Welders and Boss's orders that we might have been discarding with our Blazing Aura. Like I said, we can't control that Blazing Aura. It's actually like a really scary ability to use on a stage 2 deck. If that was like on a basic deck, awesome. But Power Pad lets us, you know, cover the losses, so to speak. And was it 10 basic? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 basic fight. Again, you'd like to see that a little bit higher, but space. But yeah, let me know what you think, Charizard Leon. Tell you what, like, you do realistically hit in that sort of 200 to 300 range a lot, to be honest with you. But I know HP is just so hard. Like, if this was taking 1 shot, I'd be much more inclined, and I'd give you like a more of a buzzing recommendation. But like I said, it's a really technical deck. It's a fun deck to play, like you're solving puzzles. And if you like those kind of decks, you really have to think and you methodically go through, then this might be the deck for you. But thank you for watching as always, guys. Yeah, for more Vivid Voltage decks and gameplay, make sure you smash that subscribe button for me, okay? But thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.